Okay, Hirschbach, it's Friday and back with you. I'm going to start things off, and I've got a special guest with us here today. Nick Still's with us. Hey, Nick, how are you?
How are we doing? I'm good.
Good. So Nick's been with us about 3 years, right?
Right.
Runs in the Smithfield Fleet, and it seems like just about once a month or once every other month, we have a Hirschbach hero that gets recognized by the TCA, the Truckload Carrier Association, with their Highway Angel Award. And Nick is being recognized this month as a Highway Angel. We're very proud of you, and if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing with the rest of the team kind of what happened out there.
Well, this took place back in February. Ice and snow on the road. Pretty bad weather for the day, really. And I was eastbound outside of Galesburg, Illinois. The truck in front of me started to fishtail and spin out, and then pretty soon they rolled over, and big powdery cloud of white snow, and when it cleared they was laying on their side in the ditch. And so I pulled off to the side and threw on my hazards and called 911 and ran over there to check and make sure everybody was all right. And the husband was climbing out at the time. I helped him climb out, and then with it being on its side, I had to help him lift his wife out of the truck to set her down on the ground. And by then the EMTs and ambulance and all the fire trucks and everything was there. So to my knowledge, they walked away from it okay. It all happened so fast I never even had a chance to grab their name.
Wow. So how far ahead of you were they when this happened?
Probably 300 feet.
Okay.
They were, I don't know, maybe 300-400 feet in front of me. I was leaving a little bit of room between us because of how bad the roads were.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to tell with the powdery snow. There was a little bit of black ice under there on that overpass, and they just happened really fast. They just spun out.
So what did they, as you were helping them get out of the vehicle, what sort of interaction did they have with him?
Well, we were just, kind of shooken up.
Yeah, I bet.
And trying to make sure everybody was okay. And we was lifting his wife out, and I said, is anything hurt? And she's like, I think my arm. And I said, which arm? And she said, the one he's pulling on. So, not me, but her husband.
Yeah.
But, then we was able to get her up and set her down on the ground. It was on her side of the truck, so, kind of vertical there. She had to climb out. So.
Well, not everyone would do what you did. That's for sure. A lot of people would probably keep going, or maybe just
I'd like
call
to
the authorities or something like that. But
I would like to think that most people would stop, but you're right. Some might not.
Yeah.
But I would think any decent human would stop in a situation like that.
Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate you going above and beyond and doing the right thing out there, and you should be recognized for your heroic actions. You never know in those situations. Car could have caught on fire. I mean, who knows what? I mean, and so we really appreciate you doing such a great job out there, and here at Hirschbach in general, the 3 years of dedicated service you've had, and for really helping out in this situation here. And so the TCA, with the Highway Angel Award, they got a bunch of different things here, but to recognize you, certificate recognition, we got some stickers that go on your truck. I think we got some patches and some pins, and then I think we've got some Hirschbach swag for you to go in the store as well. So
Thank you.
again, congratulations and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good work.
Of course.
Good work. So next we're going to bring up Nick Forte and Brian Colas, and they've got a number of topics in both the maintenance and safety world that they're going to talk to you about. So I'm going to hand it over to them, and Nick and I are going to go exit stage right over here. All right? Thanks. All right, guys, you're up.
All right. Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go.
we doing? Good.
All right, I am up. What is it? Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
You know, 2 outs.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Nick Forte here, and just want to kind of talk about our survey. So everybody's probably aware, or maybe not aware, that we are trying to send out weekly surveys to really kind of get a heartbeat of our fleet. The pinnacle of our company, and everybody included, is our driver body, and in some cases we don't necessarily know how you feel or what's on your mind. So this really gives an opportunity for us to kind of pick some topics and really get some good feedback. And don't think that the feedback falls on deaf ears. It's a great opportunity for us to continue to mold and really curtail the company to our driver fleet. So this week's 20 questions, not really 20 questions, but the fleet survey is going to be talking about in-cab technology. And you go back a couple weeks, we kind of broached that just a little bit of what in-cab technology, what you thought, but we're going to go a whole lot more deeper. Specifically, we're going to get into the ins and outs of entertainment. So a lot of our seasoned drivers are currently in trucks that have DirecTV, or the brand name is called Epic View, and it's on the back of the cab. And one of our questions is that do you currently use the DirecTV? Yes or no? We just really kind of want to understand who's out in the fleet, what's using it, and then we're going to kind of just dive into that a little bit, asking if it was available for those that do not have it. Would you use it? Yes or no? And the other part is it's $25 a month. Is it worth it to you? So these are just kind of some of the things. The other part is just the in-cab Wi-Fi. So some of you may or may not know that on the TransFlow device, we have the option of using the tethered connection through Verizon that provides the Wi-Fi for the TVs. And in the new trucks, we're actually putting smart TVs in, so you don't have to do the Rokus and all that stuff. But we really just kind of want to know how satisfied you are with the in-cab Wi-Fi. What streaming services, movies, television, and then also just asking how you feel about it if you're just browsing the internet. And I know some folks are using their own hotspot, their GPS and all that good stuff, but really we want to kind of understand the technology aspects of how everybody feels in the equipment. So you'll see that survey come out this afternoon, and I just ask everybody to please take the time and spend 2 or 3 minutes to answer those questions, because it really does allow us to change and make good decisions that better influence our drivers out there. So that's kind of where I was at, Brian. So I think you want to kind of talk about some things.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. In-cab technology's really, really cool. They've come a long ways since I was a kid on what's in the cab of a truck. So a lot of entertainment options. That's your home away from home, and want it to be comfortable for you. A couple things I want to talk about. First of all, I want to talk about the International Road Check. We call it the annual DOT Road Blitz. I want to talk about that first. And then after that, I want to talk about, this is geared more towards the independent contractors in our lease purchase program. The deductibles, we've had some changes in your favor that is going to impact your paycheck and your bottom line and your settlement every week. That we're going back to some old ways of doing things. But before I go down that road, let's talk about the International Road Check 2021. It's coming up here in a few short weeks, May 4th through the 6th. And this is a 3-day period where the DOT does an all-out blitz to inspect trucks and inspect drivers. A good time for us to, we look at this as an opportunity. It's a good time for us to gather a lot of clean inspections that are going to help our CSA scores. A lot of times when we look at our CSA scores, we're compared to how many inspections we have. So the more clean inspections we get, the better our CSA scores are going to be. So a couple things are going to focus on this year. Now remember, they're going to do an all-inclusive inspection of your trucks. They're going to look at the brakes, they're going to look at the tires, they're going to look at the lights, They're going to inspect you as a driver. They're going to look at your logbook. They're going to look at your CDL. They're going to look at your medical card. They're going to look at basically everything surrounding you in the truck out there every time you pull through a scale or every time you get pulled over on a roadside. The focus this year is going to be on logbooks and on lighting on your truck. So the lighting's pretty simple, right, Nick?
Well, it should be really simple, but in all honesty, that's our highest ticketed item on our CSA scores for maintenance. Is about 70% of our citations come from lights, and they're mostly headlights. I can tell you right now, we can telematically look at what lights we have out in the fleet, and I just pulled that report a little bit ago, and Road Assist will probably be calling some folks here very shortly, but we've got 26 trucks that are rolling down the highway with either a high beam or low beam out. So it is very imperative. It's a great way to flag a DOT or any other officer to pull you in to really do an inspection, is just to have a light out. So no, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is, and it's very simple. When I'm out there trucking, it's just part of the daily pre-trip, obviously, is making sure all your lights work. So do a good thorough pre-trip, focus on your lighting, make sure they're all working. If they're not, get to a truck stop, buy the light, turn in your receipt, we'll reimburse you for that. Call into Road Assist if you're having troubles finding what you need out there. But that's one of the focuses this year. Lighting is pretty simple, and Nick and his team do a great job of inspecting the trucks when they come through, but at the end of the day, the onus is on our operators, because you folks are with that truck all day, every day. They aren't at the shop every day, obviously, so we rely on you folks to make sure that all your lights are working. On the logbook side, I want to go through some reminders. Now remember, the DOT Blitz is May 4th through the 6th, but your chance to get a clean inspection is going to start earlier than that. As you all know, you're required to have 8 days worth of logs with you at all time. So when you download your logs on a roadside inspection, the officer is going to go back 8 days when they inspect you. So if you get stopped on May 4th, they're going to go back 8 days prior to that and look at your logs. So in my opinion, the DOT Blitz starts as early as next week. By then, your log books have to be completely in order. And remember, we should be doing all this stuff all the time anyway, folks. We want to run a good compliance compliance team around here. But as far as some checklist items that you need to have 8 days worth of logs. If you end up into a rental truck or in some sort of loaner situation, make sure that you call into the logs department and they can email you your last 8 days of logs. You need to have that with you at all time. Make sure that you're verifying your logs. This is a problem. You all get a reminder every day, hey, would you like to verify your logs? Yes or no. A lot of people just click no. When I was a kid, you used to have to sign your paper logbook every day. If you don't verify your logs, it's like running around without signing your previous day's logs. So make sure you click yes, go through that checklist, and make sure that you verify your logs every day. Make sure you have a backup paper logbook. This is a frustrating ticket. A lot of times we get form and manner violations. The DOT regulations require you to have a backup paper logbook. In the event that your e-log goes down and you need to go on paper logs, you have to have that backup paper logbook with you at all times. We have those available at all of our terminals. If you stop by just ask somebody. They can help you get a backup paper logbook. If you can't get to a terminal, stop at a truck stop. They're just a few bucks. Pick one up. Make sure you have one of those with you at all times. Personal conveyance. Make sure you do that the right way. Remember, personal conveyance allows you to drive the truck for personal reasons. You can't use it to advance a load. You can't use it to go to a shop. You can only use it to advance for personal reasons, and that is going to get groceries or going to get something to eat or going to the dentist, something like that. So make sure you're properly using personal conveyance. This is another issue we see a lot. Make sure you're logging on duty time. We see a lot of drivers out there that go straight from off-duty time, sleeper berth time, and going directly to their drive time. You can't do a good, thorough pre-trip inspection in less than 15 minutes, in my opinion. So make sure you log some on-duty time for doing a pre-trip inspection. Make sure you're logging on-duty time for fueling. Make sure you're logging on-duty time for loading and unloading. Anytime you get inspected by a DOT officer, you need to log that time as on-duty time. That's not an all-inclusive list, just a short list of things that we see quite a bit. So make sure you're logging good, sufficient on-duty time. You should be doing that all the time, but especially in over the next few weeks. Make sure you have an instruction sheet with you on how to download your logs. This is another frustrating ticket a lot of people don't even know about. it's a form and manner violation. You need to have a checklist with you on how to properly download your logs. That is part of your kit that you get at orientation. If you don't have one, call in the logs department. They can email you a copy of what you need to have with you at all times. As long as you have it on your phone or on a tablet of some sort, that should suffice for the DOT officer. Make sure you have that instruction sheet. You need to be able to provide that to them to instruct them on how to properly download the logs. And in addition, you as the driver need to be trained upon that. We see tickets once in a while for a driver not being adequately trained on how to download the logs. If you don't know how to do it, that could also be a citation. Again, if you have questions on that, make sure you call into the logs department. The other thing we're going to be doing is we'll be sending out fleet messages on this stuff over the next couple weeks to make sure you're prepared. We're also preparing a video specific to this. We're going to ship out to you folks that the logs department is putting together on how to make sure you're checking all these simple boxes. One cool feature we did get in place, thank you to the IT team, Austin and his team, for getting this in place. Now, your trailer number and your shipping information automatically goes to your logs. For the longest time, you had to enter it in two places. Once on the loaded call side, when you enter your loaded call, you had to enter the trailer number, and then you had to go into the logbook side and also enter it. That automatically goes onto your logbook now. Every time you enter the trailer number, and we do a loaded call on our end, your shipping information and your trailer number is automatically going on your logs. That's been a long time coming, and we've seen a drastic decrease in our form and manner violations for those simple things to do out there. So, go ahead, Nick.
I was going to ask you, Brian. So one of the things that I think that we've done in the past when you were talking about an extra logbook, I would encourage everyone to kind of look into your permit book, because in a lot of cases we're putting fresh logbooks in there, and it's really a beautiful place to keep it, because you keep it in there, it doesn't get crumpled up, you know where it's at. And then on most of the new trucks that are coming in, then also we're actually putting stickers on the dashes that go through the steps on how to actually download the e-log information for an officer. So you'll see those coming as well on the new trucks, and any new drivers are coming in, we're putting them on the trucks as well.
Yeah, we're trying to make this as easy for you folks as possible. If you've gone through orientation the last few months, you should have that paper logbook right
in the permit book.
Yep.
If not, pick up one, and when you do pick it up, put it in the permit book. You know, those are pretty heavy bound books, and they're not going to allow that to get tore up and fall apart. So you know where it's at.
Yeah. Very good. Want to turn to deductibles. Got some good news for you folks. Those of you that are independent contractors under our lease program. We're going to put more money in your pocket. We're going back to our deductibles the way they were a few months ago. A few months ago, we raised all of our deductibles. We basically doubled all of them. We recently, a few months ago, raised them to $2,000 for the tractor, $1,000 for the trailer, $1,000 for the cargo, and $1,000 for liability claims if you damage somebody else's property. We're going back to the cutting them in half. We're going back to $1,000 on the tractor, $500 on the trailer, $500 on the cargo, and $500 for a liability claim. So while we don't condone any accidents, we don't want to see any of them out there. We do realize that there are times where things out of your control happen, and there are accidents out there, and we want to make sure we put as much money in your pocket as possible by decreasing the amount you're going to be deducted. The other thing that we're doing is we're going to help you cash flow it a lot better. Under the terms of your lease and your independent contractor agreement, you all are required to post an escrow with us, and that's $50 a week up to $1,000. If you do owe a deductible, we're going to charge that escrow and then restart your escrow back up at $50 a week instead of taking all of that money at once. So we're going to allow you to use your escrow to help spread out those payments over more time. To help, again, put more money in your pocket every week. So a big plus for our independent contractors, and again, that's just one more way we're trying to put more money in your pockets every week as part of your final settlement. So
yeah, the intermarket's certainly been very difficult to try to navigate, and you've done a great job, and so has your team, because going back and forth, just kind of listen to the way the industry's been, insurance has been no fun. So it sounds like your team did a great job in whittling us back to where we need to be.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride here the last couple of years. The insurance market, we're starting to see some signs that it's settling down finally. But the best way to lock in these good insurance rates and lock in your settlement every week and give you lower deductibles is to not have accidents. That's the best way to to make it happen. So we appreciate all that you're doing. All into zero is our #1 value, as you know. There's no load more important than you, your families, and those that travel around you. Getting home safely is the most important thing that we do out there. So I'll remind you of all that.
I had a wise old man that used to tell me there's no load that's too hot that won't cool off in the ditch.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So I think that's it.
That's it. Everybody be safe out there and continue to do what you do. Our driving force is what we're best known for. Each one of you are very near and dear to us, and I can't thank you enough, and all of us here at Hirschbach can't thank you enough, and our families, it's very important that you get home safe, and then, again, all into zero, that we get everybody else on the road home safe. Correct, Brian?
Yep, that's it. That's it. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day and a safe weekend.
Thank you.
Take care.